Several people have expressed concern that the aldermen are elected at large, but run for a specific post or region. That leads many to feel unrepresented on the council. Also, people express concern that the downtown area was favored. How do you feel you could best address these concerns and ensure the diverse needs of each unique district is met?
Yeah, that again, I mean, if you are not satisfied, right, with the representation that you're getting, then you have to elect. And that's why our team is so excited that we caused an election in 2021 and we caused another one in 2023. We believe that me running for office has given us a consecutive election. And for that, those are things that we are champion on in a small way, but yet a big way of change. Now, I would like to still see an at large. And the reason why I say that is if you start putting an officer over one section, you're only going to get the opinions of that person in that one section. But if you truly elect someone who want to see the heart for all of Ackworth, no matter what district you live in, what post you live in, even if you are unincorporated area. But if you elect me, I want to represent all of that. I go in and out of the communities and I hear and will continuously have an open platform for people to talk about what is personal for them in their area. I believe if you just have a person that lives in a post two, only to represent a post two, to only care about a post two, I think you're not getting an equal representation. So I would say make sure on November 7th, you elect someone like me that will represent all of the city of Ackworth, all unincorporated and incorporated, to reflect on the different uniqueness of each side of town. I don't live in the heart of Ackworth, but the uniqueness that is on our side, which our side is more of the box restaurants, more of the franchise restaurants, more of your retail. We like what's happening over here. Whereas someone more in the heart of Ackworth might not like the development that is going on. So again, I would keep the platform open for my constituents to be able to talk to me. I would still have open engagements so I can represent all of Ackworth to my best ability.
Okay, that's an easy one. And that's a short one. I have said from the beginning what I consider ward in the city of Ackworth. So when you have a post really means nothing, because I think even from the question perspective, post doesn't mean anything geographic for either the person running and representing or the people that live. There's no, if you're in post two, you're not in post two. You're not in post one either. Wards, the way that the city of Marietta does it, is that the person who represents a certain area lives in that area and they're dedicated there. Now they make decisions for citywide, no doubt. I mean, but they have their let's look at county commissioners. So our county commissioner in the city of Ackworth is Kelly Gambrell, and that's District 1, and she's responsible. I can get Kelly Gambrell on the telephone. I may not be able to get Miss Burrell on the phone because I think she's District 3 and serves East Cobb on that. So absolutely, yes. Explore wards. I don't know, that may be a state legislature giving us permission, but absolutely ward, and that you live in the district. And that way, if you're living with, around your friends and your neighbors, then you should be able to represent your friends and neighbors. And I would think that everybody gets represented equally. Now for the downtown being favored. I think downtown gets favored because downtown is the squeakiest wheel, because it's the most visible. The people live downtown. It's in a historic district where things are a little bit, they want things to be done a certain way because of historic value and the historic, significance of that area. And I just think that don't know how you change this. You don't change this on our side. You change this on your side, citizens of Ackworth. You got to get involved. And I think the people that do not live in the immediate downtown area or own a business in the immediate downtown area just don't get as involved and or just don't make enough noise. And I think that's why. I don't think it's the fault of the city and what I can do to change that. I think what can you, the citizens of Ackworth, what can you do to change that?
Well, as we look at the districts and we look at all of these concerns, number one, as far as our concern about the districts and not feeling represented, the city of Ackworth has been at large as far as I can remember. And that just means that there are positions, and maybe instead of calling them posts, we need to think positions, that there are 5 positions and a mayor. So there are 6 people that are a part of our city council. And so let's think differently rather than thinking districts. Now, how do we make sure that we get people to feel involved and to feel represented? Well, that's encouraging them to be able to come to our meetings and realize if they need to speak up about certain things. Our councilmen have always been willing to listen, as well as myself, that if you come to a meeting or you contact me individually and say, this is a concern, I can bring those things up at a meeting and we can discuss them and then look out for what's best for the city. But if we don't know those, then there's no way for us to address them. The other thing that I think may help is that I think what really people are concerned about are some of the outlying subdivisions that may not necessarily directly touch downtown, but they are part of the city of Ackworth, and that they may not even get to their subdivision, from their subdivision to their local grocery store or to work without having to go through downtown, and they feel ostracized. So my encouragement to all of those folks are be active. Come to City Hall, check the website, check and see what the meetings are, see what the agenda is, see what the items that they're going to be discussing and how those things may affect you. I think as a city, maybe we can reach out more to the homeowners associations and try and use those as a tool to be able to try and bring more interest into the city. The city does a great job partnering with different organizations as far as our faith-based groups to be able to include and to promote diversity, but it also takes a little bit of effort on some of our citizens to come forward and want to be involved. I don't know of any city member that would say, please don't volunteer, please don't come to our meeting. It is encouraged and we welcome it. As a planning and zoning member and been working on zoning ordinances for 20 years, I would plead for people to come and see what's going on and understand so that they can get their questions answered before we move forward with votes and before we see changes in our ordinance.
Well, first of all, it's my firm belief that if you're running for a post, you need to live in that post. That's how the citizens get adequate representation, because if I live in a different part of town and I'm trying to represent a crosstown neighborhood, I don't know what their needs, what the families that are there. I don't understand the dynamics of that area. I understand what works in my area will not necessarily work in that area. So what we need to do is we need to take a look at the city charter. I've seen where we had open, like for our county commissioners, it'll be each district has a representative and then it'll be an at-large seat. This is new to me where every seat's at large. So we need to take a look at what our city charter states and see if we're actually following it, number one, and if not, we need to follow it. But also, we need to reform it to where, and get the citizens involved to help us reform it to where we can actually have a representative for each district and maybe one at large to represent them. Because right now, I've been told by some neighbors that I've been talking to that they're concerned, and I've heard this before, this question, we don't feel like we're being representative, that the lake is getting this or these folks are getting that, but we want somebody to represent us. And so that's what I'm doing. So not only for the people where I live, but also for the whole community, the whole city as a whole.